Welcome back to our chapter reviews for our CCNA with Packet Tracer textbook, and we are all the way up to chapter 18, and it is time for us to review network time protocol. We're going to see something in this chapter review that would be true for your production lab equipment, your production enterprise equipment. And it's certainly going to be the case in Packet Tracer. And what we're going to see is that when we make this configuration, even if we make this configuration perfectly, there's going to be a lot of latency with NTP actually syncing on the network. This is by design. This isn't a strange thing. It happens quite a bit. And this is a reason I don't think you would actually see NTP in a lab in the exam. I think this would be multiple choice stuff. If they were going to give you this protocol in a simulation in your exam, I think they would have to do some behind the scenes and make it sync a lot faster. We'll test just how long it takes to sync in this chapter review, and we'll get a sense for it. Yeah, it takes quite a bit. Anyways, you've decided to make R1 the time server for your network, and we're going to configure R1 with NTP master 2. So that is the command that would make R1 the time server with a stratum of 2. Remember, the stratum is basically just like a hop count, indicating how far we are away from the authoritative time source. So this is a global configuration thing, and we just say NTP master and then the stratum of 2. So that's that. We're going to save our configuration, and now notice what we're going to do. We're going to go to R2 and configure it as a client of R1. And we're going to use the R1 address of 192.168.1.1. Notice this is a deceptive command because we're going to be using an NTP server command, but this is on the client machine. Yeah, it's pointing towards the master server that has been set up on R1. So we're going to go to R2 here and set it up as a client. Even though it's a little deceptive, it might look like some type of NTP server system configuration. We're going to say and this is how I like to remember it, the NTP server is at 192.168.1.1. Okay, so we are telling the client machine here where its server is located. All right, well, I just noted the time because we are going to do our verification. There's a couple of different commands we can do here. One is show NTP associations, and we are seeing if we are fully synced with our device. So we have configured a 192.168.1.1 master device here, master time server, and we are going to peer with this system. And notice our reference clock is a 127 loopback address. So notice we clearly have not synced yet. By the way, it also does show the stratum, so that's good news. We are communicating with this system, it would appear. Note, one of the ways we can tell that is we have the stratum that is indicated. The other command that you can use from a verification standpoint is show NTP status. And look at this, we synced. Wow, that was a much, much faster synchronization than I am used to seeing. Notice, by the way, we're an additional hop count now. We have a stratum of 3. So we are 3 hops away from the authoritative time source. So this looks great. Yeah, we are synchronized. Let's take a look at that show NTP associations again. I guess this reference clock is not going to update. I thought it would, but we are in good shape here. And we can definitely tell that from show NTP status, where we see our clock is synchronized and the reference is that device up there. Well, I take back what I said. I mean, my goodness, if Cisco can have the NTP sync that quickly, then yeah, this certainly would be relevant for a simulation in your exam environment. Let's go ahead and do our grading and make sure we got a 100% in this activity, and we did. So I want you to just go ahead and keep this in mind when you are in a production environment working with NTP. Don't expect it to sync as fast as we saw it sync today in our review activity. It can take quite some time, 5-10 minutes kinds of time intervals for the syncing to actually take place. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll be back for more chapter review labs with me.